In the treasure vault, Jian Wushuang had paid 100 million divine gems for this item. Not long after, he received the yin-yang mirror and blended it into his body. He had gained the treasure he wanted most, so he didn't stay. He turned around and left straight away. The scarlet-robed elder and Azura had been waiting outside for him. "How is it going?" the scarlet-robed elder asked, looking at the boy. "Not bad." Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. "What you received in the treasure vault is your second special treatment as a blood eagle guard. What I'll give you next is the third special treatment, which is also the most appealing one of the three. The Divine Sea." The scarlet-robed elder became more serious. "The Divine Sea?" Jian Wushuang seemed puzzled about it. But Shura could not help but clench his fists while hearing the two words. Finally, Azura's eyes brimmed with excitement. "Azura, it looks like you've heard about it before?" The scarlet-robed elder looked over at Azura with interest. "Right?" Shura nodded. "I've heard of it. The Divine Sea is equivalent to a kind of fortune. Any Blood Eagle Guard is allowed to enter it for free and stay for a month. After 1 month, no matter who you are, your strength will make a big breakthrough." Big breakthrough? Jian Wushuang was intrigued. The scarlet-robed elder smiled, and then slowly started to explain. "You are right, this Divine Sea is a sort of fortune. Blood Eagle Guards enjoy 3 special treatments. In fact, the Divine Sea is the most important and valuable. Tang of the East used every resource to build the Divine Sea. It was built at a huge cost. In the Tang of the East, there are not many people qualified to enter the Divine Sea. Blood Eagle Guards are, after all, one of the trump cards of the Imperial House. Therefore, any Blood Eagle Guard is entitled to stay in the Divine Sea for 1 month. Don't underestimate this month. In normal cases, if a Blood Eagle Guard wants to stay there for a month, he has to pay a large sum of money. This sum is much more than all the possessions of an expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm. It truly is an astronomical sum. In that month, ordinary Blood Eagle Guards will make great progress in their strength. Some powerful experts could gain even more in that month. Only Divine Realm experts like you can enter the Blood Eagle Guard. With such talent, you could certainly make unimaginable gains in the Divine Sea. Hearing this, Azura's eyes shone with eagerness. Jian Wushuang knew nothing about Divine Sea before, but now the elder's introduction had ignited his expectations. He did not expect that the Blood Eagle Guard would offer such a great opportunity. If ordinary Blood Eagle Guards will make great progress in 1 month, how much progress could I make? Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang's eyes sparkled with excitement. Under the guidance of the scarlet-robed elder, Jian Wushuang and Azura came to a wormhole. This wormhole links to the Divine Sea. I've already sent a message to the commander. This wormhole will open soon. Make sure to make the most of your month there. As for how much you improve, that will depend on your own luck, the elder said. Jian Wushuang and Azura nodded. They certainly would not miss such a rare opportunity. It was not long before the wormhole opened. Jian Wushuang and Azura immediately stepped into it and were headed straight into the Divine Sea. Buzz! The light flashed. Then Jian Wushuang appeared over the vast sea. Jian Wushuang stood in the void, taking in the scene from above. He saw a splendid sea with scarlet water, full of a rich, bloody smell. This was a blood sea. The blood was bubbled and rolled continuously, and an immense vapor was rising. This is the greatly auspicious Divine Sea? Jian Wushuang frowned. With the naked eye, he could see how peculiar this sea was. I wonder how the Imperial House of Tang of the East made this blood sea. Anyway, I don't care as long as it can greatly improve my strength. Jian Wushuang took a slight breath and glided straight into the Divine Sea. The moment he entered the sea, he sensed a scalding energy surging toward him. The energy was incomparably mild, as if his mother embraced him, and then it gradually poured into his body through his pores. Ha! Jian Wushuang could not help but shiver. He sensed the peculiarity of the scalding energy, stimulating his 8 extraordinary meridians, bones, joints, and even his pores. It even rushed into his sea of consciousness to nourish his sword heart. This feels so good. Jian Wushuang relaxed. He knew that the scalding energy did not cause any harm to his body, and that it was actually nourishing him. His sword heart and body were starting to be enhanced. His affinity for World Dao and Slaughter Dao also improved greatly, which surprised him the most. His enlightenment of Dao was advancing at an amazing speed. He was making rapid progress in every respect without using much effort. In addition, his comprehension ability seemed to be infinitely magnified at this moment. Unbelievable! The Divine Sea is incredible! Jian Wushuang widened his eyes in shock. He was not clear about how the Divine Sea was made, but after he had really experienced it, he was certain that this Divine Sea promoted great fortune. Jian Wushuang used his mind to call his slaughter body, and it appeared next to him. The two original bodies, not wanting to waste a second, began their cultivation. To say that cultivation in the Divine Sea yielded twice the result with half the effort was an understatement. Jian Wushuang's two original bodies worked separately. The world body concentrated on the 3 secret skills of the ancient god, while the slaughter body studied the boundless heaven sword art. Soaking in the scalding energy, his sword heart and body were naturally elevated. At the other end of the Divine Sea, Azura was also completely immersed in his cultivation. The seconds and minutes passed by. For Jian Wushuang and his silently increasing strength, the 1-month cultivation finished in the blink of an eye. When his time ran out, a huge wave emerged in the Divine Sea and instantly swallowed him before he had time to react. When he opened his eyes again, he had already appeared outside the wormhole. 1 month? Did it pass so soon? Jian Wushuang sighed with regret, but at the same time he was delighted. The 1-month cultivation was a great fortune for Jian Wushuang. He had made great progress. His sword heart had reached the peak of level 3 under the 1-month nourishment, and he was just a step away from reaching level 4. Notably, Jian Wushuang had not long entered level 3 either. He had thought that it would take him dozens of years to reach the peak, but in the Divine Sea it only took him 1 month. The sword heart had greatly improved, so he was able to activate more of its power. His swordsmanship had also improved. His body had also strengthened massively, and he became tougher and more powerful. The effect was just like that of the immortality secret skill he had continuously used to cultivate his physical strength. Within a month, he had reached the peak of armor technique, and his body was now superior to that of most Eternal Realm experts. If he turned into an ancient god, his body would be more terrifying. Over the past month, he had not spent too much time on Dao enlightenment, so his World Dao and Slaughter Dao did not make a big improvement. Jian Wushuang's greatest progress was that he had mastered more secret skills. Like the Star River secret skill, he had reached level 13 and 14 over the past month, so now if he used his full strength, his strength would increase by 42 times. 42 times. Compared with ordinary warriors whose strength was improved by 10 times, his strength was improved 32 times more than theirs. What a huge advantage! He also made a new breakthrough in the boundless heaven sword art. In just 1 month, he had truly made amazing progress in the Divine Sea. His strength soared. Before entering the Divine Sea, even though I turned into an ancient god and tried my best to activate the Blood Mountain Sword, I was only able to grapple with ordinary experts at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm. But now my strength has improved greatly. Even without my Blood Mountain Sword, I could now defeat them with ease. If I used the Blood Mountain Sword, very few experts at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm could match me. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists and sensed his strength with a flicker of joy in his eyes. Blood Mountain. A frosty voice was heard before Azura was seen approaching. He had just come out of the Divine Sea. Jian Wushuang was shocked at the sight of him. He could see that Azura had undergone great changes, particularly in the aura emanating from his body. His previously recognizable Divine Realm aura had turned into an overwhelming Eternal Realm aura. Obviously, Azura had made a breakthrough in the Divine Sea. Congratulations! Jian Wushuang smiled. Haha! The same as you. Azura shrugged and said with a smile on his face. HRM, right? Jian Wushuang touched his nose. Since he left the Divine Sea, he had activated the Yin-Yang mirror to transform his aura. Now he was exuding Eternal Realm aura, and had also reached the Eternal Realm level. Therefore, Azura thought that Jian Wushuang had broken into the eternal realm, just as he did. In fact, Jian Wushuang was still just a divine realm expert. "Have both of you come out?" A voice rang out, and the scarlet-robed elder landed in front of them. The elder smiled at the two boys and asked, "How do you feel?" "I feel very good. I thought that it would take some time for me to make it to the eternal realm, but aided by the divine sea, I've made a breakthrough and improved greatly in many respects," Azura said earnestly. "So did I." Jian Wushuang responded with a faint smile. "Both of you can go to the divine sea once for free, but it will be difficult to enter it again," the elder sighed. "What do I need to do if I want to go there again?" asked Jian Wushuang. Indeed, he wanted to spend another stint in a place like the divine sea. 100,000 points, and it can only be paid in points, not divine gems, the elder replied. 100,000? Jian Wushuang was astonished. In the treasure vault, he only needed to exchange 10,000 points for the unique Yin-Yang mirror. 100,000 points could be exchanged for 10 treasures equivalent to the Yin-Yang mirror. It was equal to 1 billion divine gems, almost comparable to the Tao Master's entire possessions. In the Blood Eagle Guard, to complete a relatively simple task, you can get 1,000 or 2,000 points. For more difficult tasks, you can receive 4,000 or 5,000 points. But for most Blood Eagle Guards, even if they saved for tens of thousands of years, they could not afford 100,000 points. The elder shook his head with a smile. But there is another way. The divine sea is exotic, but it also has some flaws. Firstly, it costs too much. An ordinary Blood Eagle Guard would have to spend an astronomical sum to spend 1 month cultivating in there. Besides, the divine sea is only useful to the warriors below the Tao Master level. Powerful Tao Masters can gain almost nothing there, even if they have been practicing in there for several years, the scarlet-robed elder said. Oh, Jian Wushuang nodded secretly, but immediately asked with curiosity. Right, so the divine sea is really special, but who made it? Its creator is our mysterious national master, the elder replied. He not only invented the divine sea but also the Blood Eagle armor. National master? Jian Wushuang was surprised. He had just arrived in the Tang of the East, so he knew little about it. He only knew of its founder Tang Emperor and the 4 other emperors of the Golden Age. He had not heard of this mysterious National Master character before. It is said that National Master, with his extraordinary origin, has incredible skills and high status in the Tang of the East. Even the current ruler Empress Lung is particularly respectful to him, the elder said. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned. Not only did he create the Blood Eagle armor and the divine sea, this National Master even earned the respect of Empress Lung. Where did this National Master come from? Well, I've given you your 3rd special treatment. Now I'll take you to your residence. You can go by yourselves to the Eagle Hall where you can undertake and submit tasks. After the elder led Jian Wushuang and Azura each to their own living quarters, he waved and left. 3 days passed. In these 3 days, Jian Wushuang had had a new understanding of life inside the Blood Eagle Guard lair. The Blood Eagle Guard had a strict hierarchy with very little crossover. Many Blood Eagle Guards had the same repetitive life for months on end. Taking a task, completing it, and handing it in. Of course, after completing the task, they would obtain the corresponding points which they exchanged for treasures in the treasure vault to improve their strength. In addition, the points for completing the task would continue to accumulate. When their points reached the threshold, the Blood Eagle Guards would get a promotion. For example, once a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard had completed enough tasks, and his points reached the level of a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, he would naturally become a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. The higher the level, the greater authority a Blood Eagle Guard had. Then they would have higher-level tasks and encounter more powerful experts. I'm only a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, the lowest rank. According to my current status, the highest level of tasks that I can reach is a death-level task with limited opponents. If I want to meet Lung Rushuang as soon as possible, I have to climb as fast as I can. The higher I reach, the greater chance I have. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. He had made up his mind. Let's start. That same day, Jian Wushuang went to the Eagle Hall to undertake a task. The first task he received was a death-level task. The Eagle Hall was huge. There were many tables in the hall. Many Blood Eagle guards were sitting in Bloody Eagle armor, gathered in twos or threes, casually chatting and drinking. Jian Wushuang sat in a corner, drinking alone. Blood Mountain. Azura walked over, sat down in front of him, and then picked up a wine cup. I heard that you've taken a task today? Azura looked at Jian Wushuang. Yeah, I did. Jian Wushuang nodded. What level? Asked Azura. Death level. Jian Wushuang replied in a flat, toneless voice. Azura spat out the wine he had just drunk. Blood Mountain, what did you say? You took death level task. Azura ignored his own gaffe and stared at Jian Wushuang. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded again. Are you going to look for someone to help you? Asked Azura. Many tasks in the Eagle Hall could not be completed alone. It was necessary for several or even more Blood Eagle guards to work together. Jian Wushuang said coldly, No, I'll deal with it alone. This? Azura looked at this boy in shock. He would carry out the death-level task alone? The tasks issued by the Eagle Hall were divided into 5 levels. General level, difficulty level, death level, catastrophe level, and hell level. The highest level task a one-clawed Blood Eagle guard could undertake was a death-level task. But in most cases, the death-level task was carried out by a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard and several 1-clawed Blood Eagle guards. To complete the death-level mission alone, only extremely confident 2-clawed Blood Eagle guards dared to do so. Jian Wushuang was a 1-clawed Blood Eagle guard and still a fresh recruit. The newcomer, I heard that he has only just made a breakthrough to the Eternal Realm in the Divine Sea, and he has taken on death-level task. He is really courting death. A death-level task? TSK, to complete this level of task, he needs the step 6 strength at least. Even a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard wouldn't dare take it. When he joined the Blood Eagle guard, he was only a Divine Realm expert, and should have had step 4 battle strength. It's amazing indeed. After 1 month cultivation in the Divine Sea, his strength has risen sharply, and he made the breakthrough to the Eternal Realm. I guess he must already have reached step 5 or even peak step 5 by now, but he is still not qualified to finish a death-level task alone. Haha. He is so confident. What can you do? Humph. Confident? I think it's stupid. Many Blood Eagle guards glanced at Jian Wushuang from time to time with all kinds of emotions in their eyes. Some laughed at him, some gloated over his insanity, some only sighed with complicated feelings. But no matter what these people thought of it, Jian Wushuang had already taken on this death-level task. Blood Mountain, do you need my help? Azura threw him a solemn glance. Although Azura was not very close friends with Jian Wushuang, they joined the Blood Eagle guards together, so he would try his best to help him if he needed it. No, it's okay. Jian Wushuang looked gratefully at Azura and said nothing else. After drinking a few cups of wine, Jian Wushuang set off. In the Anyong Prefecture, one of the 36 prefectures of Tang of the East, there was a huge mansion in the center of a city. The mansion's owner was called Master Han. He was powerful with a great reputation throughout the prefecture. Under the dim moonlight, a figure in a scarlet cloak appeared in the void near this huge mansion. This scarlet cloak had been transformed from Blood Eagle armor, and its owner, naturally, was Jian Wushuang. He stood in the void and took out his task scroll. There are total of 10 targets, each of whom is an expert at step 6 of the Eternal Realm. I only need to think of a way to kill 3 of them, then my mission is done. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists. It was extremely difficult to kill experts at 6 steps of the Eternal Realm, but Jian Wushuang had to kill 3 such experts by himself. The so-called Master Han in this mansion is not weak, but his life-saving ability is not good. I do have an opportunity to kill him. As he thought, Jian Wushuang turned over his hand, and in it appeared his Emperor's sword. At the same time, he had activated his bloodline power and instantly turned into a 15-meter-tall gold-armored ancient god. Now his terrible, irrepressible aura spread out, causing commotion around him. Who is that? A burst of shots rang out from the mansion. First, I'll use the Emperor's sword to grapple with him for a while, and then use the Blood Mountain sword to kill him, Jian Wushuang thought, his eyes sparkling with killing intent. Kill! He shouted and then glided toward the huge mansion. Soon a terrible battle broke out. After a month's cultivation in the Divine Sea, Jian Wushuang had improved dramatically. Even without the Blood Mountain sword, he was powerful enough to fight against an expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm like now. With his swordsmanship, Jian Wushuang had managed to keep Master Han down right from the beginning. After fighting for a while, he had the advantage. Then he easily killed his mighty opponent with his Blood Mountain sword. After finishing the first target, Jian Wushuang immediately headed for his second one. A month later, when Jian Wushuang in Blood Eagle armor appeared in the Eagle Hall, the other Blood Eagle guards could not help but stare at him. That Blood Mountain, I heard that he took the death level mission alone. How is it going now? Not bad, he's managed to survive. As for the task, let's see how it goes. In any case, the time limit for a task is generally very long. He can wait until he gets stronger in the future. But our rule is that if a task has not been done, there is no way for him to take other tasks, right? It's true, but who is to blame for this? He can only blame himself for being too arrogant. Even though they were very quiet, Jian Wushuang clearly heard the surge of jeering voices. Jian Wushuang ignored them and walked straight to the counter. I'm here to submit my task, Jian Wushuang said indifferently. What? Submit his task? Did I hear correctly? Did he say he will submit his task and not abandon it? He's here to submit the task, which must mean he has already finished his death level task? The other Blood Eagle guards were shocked. Jian Wushuang quickly submitted the mission. After receiving the corresponding points for the mission, he took the second death level task and left. It caused a commotion in the Eagle Hall. Really? Is this for real? Blood Mountain actually finished a death level mission alone? And it only took him a month. 1 month? How is it possible? Even a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard is unable to complete a death level task in just 1 month, right? Maybe it's luck? These Blood Eagle guards marveled at this. But Jian Wushuang did not care at all what these guys thought of him. He immediately went to carry out the second death level mission, and like just before, by himself. Autumn arrived. It had been a year since Jian Wushuang joined the Blood Eagle Guard. Over the past year, Jian Wushuang had taken on 3 death level tasks by himself. It was difficult for an ordinary 2-clawed Blood Eagle guards to complete a death level task. If he carried it out alone, there was a 50% probability that he would make it, and it was still fraught with danger. However, it was easy as pie for Jian Wushuang. The 3 death level missions were completed by him alone. Each death level task was accompanied by rich rewards. After he completed all 3 missions, he had enough points to become a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Therefore, Jian Wushuang was naturally promoted to 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. His status and authority had greatly improved. When he was only a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, the highest level of task he could take on was only death level. However, now as a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, he was able to take on catastrophe level tasks. Jian Wushuang carried on this way for a while, taking on a task, completing it and handing it over. He had still taken on death level tasks, but now he had to deal with harder and more demanding death level tasks, and he still carried out them alone. What was more, he still had an astounding completion rate. Of course, some tasks were great challenges for him. Sometimes, it took him several years to achieve a goal, and several times he was even put in danger after something unexpected had happened. But in the end, Jian Wushuang kept his head and turned the tables by using his skills. Time passed by as Jian Wushuang continued his crazy task escapade. Before he knew it, Jian Wushuang had been a Blood Eagle Guard for 15 years. In the center of a long mountain range was the headquarters of a clan. Although the clan was weak, it had deep foundations. At this moment, the mountains were almost in ruins, with a large number of pits in them. Numerous buildings had collapsed while countless corpses were spread everywhere. The ground was dyed with blood, which looked extremely dazzling in the dark. Jian Wushuang was standing quietly in the void, wearing a scarlet cloak and with his hands behind his back. Not long after, a blonde elder came over and said respectfully, "Sir, as you ordered, The Luo clan and its core disciples have been killed. From tonight, there is no Luo clan in the Tang of the East. Good. Jian Wushuang stared at the gruesome scene without any compassion. The Luo clan was a supporter of a top clan of the Tang of the East. They had committed a lot of sinful crimes in private, so they were far from innocent. Except for their ordinary clansmen of low status, the core disciples of the Luo clan should indeed have been killed. The Luo clan has been destroyed. I have spent 3 full years on this task, and it's finally over. Jian Wushuang sighed. Now my points should meet the threshold for me to become a 3-clawed blood eagle guard, right? That night, Jian Wushuang sorted through his war spoils, and then returned to the Blood Eagle Guard lair that very night. In the Eagle Hall, a few Blood Eagle Guards gathered in 2s and 3s. Did you hear? Blood Mountain actually finished a catastrophe-level mission alone. Catastrophe level? How is it possible? It's true. He has submitted the task here today. Many people saw it clearly. The good man. It has been only 15 years since Blood Mountain joined us, right? But what has he been doing over these past 15 years? He's been accepting tasks, madly accepting tasks. He always took them alone and completed them. He has now finished 14 death-level tasks. Of the 14 death-level missions, there are 6 simple tasks worth 5,000 points and 8 difficult ones worth 8,000 points. And now, he has actually completed a catastrophe-level task alone. Oh my God! Madman. He is totally insane. He is really crazy. A terrible madman. The other Blood Eagle Guards marveled. They were stupefied. They sighed in admiration. When Jian Wushuang first accepted the first death-level mission and was about to carry it out alone, the other Blood Eagle Guards all sneered at him and made fun of him. They did not think much of him. But it only ended up taking him a month to complete the death-level task by himself. At that time, the other Blood Eagle Guards still had some doubts about his strength and thought that it was good luck. However, Jian Wushuang had finished 3 death-level missions in his first year and got a promotion to a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, so finally they believed in his strength. It was possible to complete a death-level task alone with some luck, but finishing 3 tasks alone within a year was not due to luck. Over the past 15 years, Jian Wushuang had crazily accepted one task after the next that terrified the other Blood Eagle Guards. But in the end, he had succeeded. Now he had completed a catastrophe-level task alone. That was catastrophe level. Generally, it was hard for 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards to finish a catastrophe-level task alone. But Jian Wushuang had made it. Jian Wushuang had proved his strength. The other Blood Eagle Guards regarded Jian Wushuang with admiration and awe. He has finished so many death-level missions and received all the points. Now he has completed a catastrophe-level mission alone and gained more points. So his total points must have reached the requirement for 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, right? Well, according to the points, he has achieved it indeed. We only have 17 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards. It seems that we'll soon have the 18th one. Blood Mountain is rising so fast. Too fast, his progress is really fast. Blood Mountain is really a monster. Many Blood Eagle Guards marveled at his performance. While in the towering Blood Palace, Commander Hong stood on the steps with his hands behind his back. He also received the message that Jian Wushuang had completed a catastrophe-level task alone. No one below peak of Step 6 could hope to finish disaster-level tasks, but Jian Wushuang has done it. Commander Hong sighed to himself. Jian Wushuang defeated Xia Yan when he was a Divine Realm expert, so his battle strength should be above Step 5 of the Eternal Realm. After joining the Blood Eagle Guard, he broke through into the Eternal Realm. He benefited a lot from the Divine Sea. I thought that his battle strength had barely reached Step 6, so I did not expect that he would improve at such a ridiculous speed. 15 years, even considering his many training opportunities and many treasures from the treasure vault. It is still incredible for him to have made so much progress in 15 years. This boy is a real monster. In the history of my Blood Eagle Guard, there has never been such a peerless genius. Even in the entire Eternal World, there are only a few. As far as I know, the only one that is stronger than him is the big young master of the Xia clan. After a few rueful words, he sent a message straight to Commander Hong. ordering him to send the third-rank armor to Jian Wushuang. From now on, the young man is a three-clawed blood eagle guard. Commander Hong smiled faintly. Suddenly, Commander Hong turned his hand and took out a token. From that token came a message. After seeing the message, Commander Hong, who had been in a good mood, became solemn. Order all three-clawed blood eagle guards who are currently on their missions to stop immediately and return to the lair. Sir, this is your armor. A scarlet-robed elder handed a new set of blood eagle armor to Jian Wushuang in his residence. The scarlet-robed elder knew Jian Wushuang from when he led him and Shura into the blood eagle guard. He had also heard about him from his third special treatment. At that time, the scarlet-robed elder had treated Jian Wushuang casually. However, now he became extremely respectful to the boy. He had to. Jian Wushuang was now a three-clawed blood eagle guard, second only to Commander Hong. So the scarlet-robed elder and the one-claw and two-claw blood eagle guards had to address him as Sir. Third-rank armor? Seeing the scarlet armor with a bloody eagle pattern, Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. Not only did the blood eagle armor have a strong defensive capability, but it also greatly improved its owner's offensive power. When Jian Wushuang was still a one-clawed blood eagle guard, his first-rank armor only improved his offensive power by about 20%. Then, when he was promoted to a two-clawed blood eagle guard, his offensive power increased by 50% with the second-rank armor. Now, he had become a three-clawed blood eagle guard, so he was qualified to own a set of third-rank armor. Jian Wushuang quickly put on the armor. As he clenched his fists, the terrifying strength broke out. This force was amplified by the armor's restriction, and no less than doubled in an instant. Sure enough, it's doubled. Jian Wushuang's eyes shone with excitement. Doubled? It was not like the double effect of the Star River secret skill. The Star River secret skill was a power amplification secret skill. If Jian Wushuang employed this skill, his strength would be improved but limited to his own level, the Divine Realm. Therefore, even if Jian Wushuang had mastered level 15 of Star River secret skill and his offensive power was tripled, his overall strength would not have improved greatly. However, this Blood Eagle armor was able to help him enhance the power of all his skills, which meant that his overall strength doubled. Amazing! My strength has also improved a lot over my 15 years in the Blood Eagle Guard. Now that I have this third-rank armor, my overall strength will be upgraded to a new level. Now I don't have to be afraid of anyone I meet except Dao Masters, Jian Wushuang thought while clenching his fists. The news Jian Wushuang had received a third-rank armor and became a three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard soon spread throughout the lair. Jian Wushuang and Shura sat together by a table near the wall of the Eagle Hall, drinking and chatting. Jian Wushuang's frantic task-taking over the past 15 years was known to all. Azura, who had joined the Blood Eagle Guard with Jian Wushuang, also performed well, but he was far inferior to him. Azura had not gained enough points, so he was still a one-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, and there was still a certain way to go before he was a two-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Blood Mountain, have you heard of it? A few days ago, the commander personally ordered all the three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards to come back, including those who were carrying out tasks, Shura whispered. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. Yeah, I've heard of it. Commander Hong had urgently summoned three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards back, which caused an uproar throughout the entire lair. So naturally, Jian Wushuang had heard of it. Aside from you, there are 17 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards here who I have never met before. It's said that most of them have been performing secret missions outside, and rarely returned to our lair. I wonder, why did the commander actually ask them back in such a hurry? Shura sighed. Jian Wushuang was also curious. Three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards were the experts at the peak of Step 6, so each had incomparable strength. Their tasks were certainly very important, but now Commander Hong had made three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards leave their tasks and rush back, so it was definitely because of something extraordinary. While Jian Wushuang was deep in thought, an ordinary Blood Eagle Guard walked inside and bowed to him respectfully. Sir, the commander ordered you to meet him immediately. The commander wants to meet me? Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes, drank up the wine, and then left. The towering Scarlet Palace was entirely covered by a powerful restriction, so no one was able to break in without permission. The handsome, indifferent man Commander Hong in a scarlet cloak sat majestically on the largest throne at the front of the palace. More than 2 meters tall, he looked down at the crowd of figures congregated in the middle of the hall. Jian Wushuang was also standing among the crowd. These guys. Jian Wushuang looked around indifferently at the surrounding figures. Each one of these had a mighty aura, making him feel a lot of pressure. There were quite a few, exactly 17 in total. They must be the 17 three-clawed blood eagle guards? And with me, that makes 18. Jian Wushuang thought. When he looked around, Jian Wushuang noticed that they glanced at him from time to time. Gentlemen, most of you were undertaking tasks outside. After receiving my messages, you immediately came back. Thank you. After some courtesy words, Commander Hong continued. Right. This is Blood Mountain. He joined us 15 years ago and is also a three-clawed blood eagle guard. Let's welcome him. The other three-clawed blood eagle guards immediately turned to look at Jian Wushuang, but did not say anything. Jian Wushuang responded with a slight nod. Well, let's get down to business. The reason I'm so anxious to call you back this time is this. Commander Hong took out a scroll as he spoke. This scroll had the same shape and size as a regular one. The only difference was the color. The scroll was entirely scarlet, as if it were dyed with blood. The Scarlet Task Scroll? The 18 three-clawed blood eagle guards, including Jian Wushuang, were completely shocked. The task scrolls released by the Eagle Hall had different colors representing different task levels. For example, the catastrophe level task that Jian Wushuang had finished several days ago was printed on a jet black scroll. The scarlet scroll meant the level of the task was Hell level. Hell level. It's actually a hell level task? No wonder the commander urgently called us back. The palace was in turmoil. Blood Eagle Guards tasks were divided into 5 levels. General level, difficulty level, death level, catastrophe level, and hell level. In normal cases, a catastrophe level task was performed by a three-clawed blood eagle guard. A more difficult catastrophe level task required several three-clawed blood eagle guards to deal with it. The hell level tasks were harder than catastrophe level tasks, and were considered the ultimate mission. In the Blood Eagle Guard, the hell level task was almost legendary. It was rare to encounter a hell level mission. Sometimes there was not even one for thousands of years. The hell level tasks were hard, beyond the ability of Eternal Realm experts. Even if top three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards accepted such a task, they would face a deathly crisis, and sometimes death was even certain. They were horrific tasks. The three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards would even go pale with terror when they learned of their tasks. Hell-level mission, I haven't received it, but I've heard of it. Since the Blood Eagle Guard was set up in Tang of the East, there have been 4 hell-level tasks. A three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard clenched his hands and said with a solemn look, 5 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards took the first hell-level task. They all got killed and the mission failed. Only 2 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards accepted the second hell-level mission. In the end, one died and the other survived because of Doppelganger secret skill, but was seriously injured. They failed. As for the third hell-level mission, as many as 11 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards set out, but only 2 of them survived by the skin of their teeth. Luckily, they finished the task. 8 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards carried out the 4th hell-level mission, but the moment they arrived at the destination, they were exposed and all killed by a Dao Master. Hell-level tasks usually involve Dao Masters. Of the 4 hell-level missions in our history, only one was barely completed, while the other 3 ended in failure. Each time they went to perform the hell-level task, most of them died. Now, we are facing the 5th hell-level mission of the Blood Eagle Guard. The three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards looked up at the Scarlet Scroll with a grim look. Jian Wushuang had just joined the Blood Eagle Guard, so he was not familiar with this hell-level mission, but he was still shaken after hearing what the three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard said. Of the 4 hell levels in Blood Eagle Guard history, only one was completed, and the three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard who completed them ended up in a miserable state. There was no doubt that the hell-level tasks were extremely terrifying. Gentlemen, you are all aware of how dangerous hell-level tasks are. But since there is a task to be done, someone has to take the risk. Go and fight and seek wealth in the danger. Although this mission will be dangerous, you will certainly gain a lot if it's done. Just for completing this mission, you will be rewarded with 300,000 points, and there will be many extra rewards from Empress Lung. Commander Hong's voice echoed through the palace. Upon hearing this, some three-clawed blood eagle guards' eyes lit up. 300,000 points was a huge sum of money. Generally, a difficult catastrophe-level task in the Eagle Hall was valued at 10,000 to 20,000 points at most. 300,000 points were comparable to gains from a dozen catastrophe-level tasks. In addition to this, Empress Lung would offer extra rewards. Who was Empress Lung? She was the real ruler of the Tang of the East. As one of the 4 emperors in the heyday of the Tang of the East, she was the absolute supreme expert. Her extra reward? Even if it was just a casual reward, it was precious enough to make them go crazy. Commander, what does this hell-level task involve? A three-clawed blood eagle guard asked, unable to hold back his excitement. As for what it involves, Commander Hong shrugged. Although I have the hell-level task scroll in my hand, I'm not clear about it. I only know that Empress Lang, the ruler of the Tang of the East, personally released it, and that it's related to Her Majesty the Princess. Upon hearing this, 2 of the three-clawed blood eagle guards raised their heads at the same time. One was a young man who looked somewhat pale. When he heard Her Majesty the Princess, his eyes sparkled with eagerness. The other person, naturally, was Jian Wushuang. Her Majesty the Princess? Jian Wushuang's face fell. There was only one princess of the Tang of the East, and that was Lang Rushuang. This hell-level task is related to Lang Rushuang? Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He was unable to keep calm at the thought of it. If he were faced with other dangerous hell-level missions, Jian Wushuang would consider it for a while. However, if this task had something to do with Lang Rushuang, he would take it without hesitation. As for the specifics, I will take you to meet Empress Lung, who will give you an answer. But for now, make your choice. Those willing to accept this task, step forward, Commander Hong said. The three-clawed blood eagle guards started to consider it. This hell-level mission was more dangerous than any missions they had received. It was near certain death. Nevertheless, dangers were accompanied by opportunities. The guards would gain amazing rewards if they completed the task. Because of this, these three-clawed blood eagle guards were somewhat hesitant. But soon someone stepped forward. The first person was the young man with a pale face. Commander Hong smiled. Obviously, he was not surprised. Zhou Zue, I knew that you would come out as long as this matter is related to Her Majesty the Princess, Hong Tong said with a faint smile. The young man called Zhou Zue shrugged his shoulders. He looked relaxed, but there was an undisguised fever of excitement in his eyes. Then 4 other guards came forward in succession, including Jian Wushuang. Commander Hong saw the 5 guards come forward and said with a frown, "This task is not a trivial matter. I don't want more three-clawed blood eagle guards to sacrifice themselves for it, so the number of people on this mission is limited to 4. Upon hearing this, some three-clawed blood eagle guards gave an odd expression. 5 guards were willing to accept this mission, but only 4 of them had an opportunity to perform this task. Zhou Zue definitely wants to go. What about the others? Ling Long. Commander Hong smiled at a beautiful woman with long aquamarine hair. This woman looked gorgeous and had a perfect figure. She was Ling Long, and she had gained a great reputation among the three-clawed blood eagle guards. I have been taking catastrophe-level missions. It's utterly boring. I have rarely encountered a hell-level task. How could I miss it? This glamorous lady laughed with tinkling, bell-like voice. Zidiao. Shui Jin, what about you? Commander Hong asked. Zidiao, looking indifferent, stepped forward and said in a low voice, "Seek fortune in danger. Since this is such a great opportunity, I have to try. Right?" Shui Jin also nodded in agreement. Commander Hong nodded slightly, and then faced the last of the 5. This man was Jian Wushuang. Blood Mountain, will you also take this hell-level mission? Commander Hong frowned. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded respectfully but confidently. Do you know how dangerous the hell-level mission is? You have not joined us for long, but you improved greatly. As long as you keep going at this rate, you'll have a brilliant future. Why do you want to take such a dangerous mission? Hong Tong asked seriously. Commander, it is just like you said, why did I join the Blood Eagle Guard in the first place? Honestly, I should have stayed in the Dragon Guard and keep order in the Imperial Palace. Wouldn't it be more comfortable? Jian Wushuang replied. Commander Hong was stunned but shrugged his shoulders with resignation. You're right. Joining our Blood Eagle Guard means adventure. But now all 5 of you want to take this hell-level mission, but this task is limited to 4 people. So one of you has to give it up. What shall we do? Commander, it's simple. The cold and stern Zidiao suddenly spoke in a resonant, frosty voice. The hell-level mission is dangerous. Those who are not strong enough will die, so naturally, the stronger ones would be qualified to go, and the weaker should remain. Upon hearing this, the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards nodded to themselves. No matter where they were, those who were powerful should be respected. Blood Mountain. Zijiao looked over at Jian Wushuang and said in his icy voice, You've just become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. You haven't encountered any difficult catastrophe-level missions. Are you qualified to go with us? So, be tactful and stand back. Don't disgrace yourself. Zijiao's sonorous words were full of contempt for Jian Wushuang. Zijiao was the elder of the Blood Eagle Guard. He had been in the Guard for such a long time, and in the time he spent in the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard was much longer than any of the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards present. But his strength was not good and he barely ranked in the middle of them. This really upset him. He was jealous of the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards who were less experienced than him but stronger. He was a narrow-minded man. It was surprising that such a man could be so conceited. Because of this, he had almost no friends among the Blood Eagle Guards. But usually no one dared to offend him at will. Jian Wushuang had risen so fast. It only took him 15 years to become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. In the Guard, this was almost considered legendary. Zijiao had also heard of Jian Wushuang's meteoric rise, so he envied the boy too. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang stayed looking indifferent. He glanced around and found the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards were staring at him with interest. The experts should be respected in the Blood Eagle Guard. Most of the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards had been in the Blood Eagle Guard for a long time and had completed numerous tasks, so they had proved their strength. Jian Wushuang had just become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, so they were not familiar with him, and only heard that he had been finishing tasks alone like crazy over the past 15 years. Based solely on this, these 3-claw Blood Eagle Guards did yet not truly believe in his strength. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes and said unhurriedly, You're right. The weak can't participate in this mission. But how do you know that I am the weakest one, and not you? Boy, what do you mean? Zijiao responded with cold eyes, like a raging lion. What do I mean? Jian Wushuang grinned. A flicker of killing intent flashed in his eyes. Buzz. An invisible sword shadow materialized in the void, and then slashed at Zijiao's head. This sword shadow moved so fast that an ordinary Eternal Realm expert would have been unable to parry it in time. However, Zijiao, at the peak of Step 6 of the Eternal Realm, reacted with ease. He let out a shout, and the shockwave it dispersed shattered the sword shadow. Kid, how dare you? Zijiao's eyes were blazing with fury with his hair on his body stood up. At the same time, a purple thunderbolt saber appeared in his hand. Zijiao held his saber, radiating a mighty aura. Then he stepped forward and appeared in front of his opponent. Jian Wushuang had already activated the bloodline power. In a split second, he had turned into a 15-meter-tall gold-armored ancient god. Fortunately, the Scarlet Palace was huge enough to hold his body. His aura burst out as a 12-meter-long sword appeared in his hand. The scarlet sword looked like an endless sea of blood. It was the Blood Mountain sword. His current opponent was actually a real expert who has mastered the peak of Step 6, so he did not dare to take him lightly and naturally used his full strength. Seeing Jian Wushuang fighting Zijiao, Commander Hong frowned, but he did not stop them. The other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard tacitly left a space for them. Die! Zidiao was a hard and cruel man. As he gritted his teeth, his eyes burst out his hidden intent to kill. When he appeared in front of his opponent, Zidiao swung his saber. The blade light easily tore the void and caused a huge rift of space. The speed was even more incredible. Faced with the strike, Jian Wushuang was composed as he moved his wrist to block the blade light with his blood mountain sword. Clang! A loud boom was heard. Two powerful strikes crashed head to head. He actually blocked my attack? Zidiao showed a hint of surprise. His saber technique was famous for its speed and fierceness. At that moment, he had used his full strength to unleash the blade light, which moved so fast that an ordinary expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm found it hard to deflect it. But Jian Wushuang had succeeded in blocking it. Of course, Zidiao did not take it seriously. With a snort, his fierce saber technique broke out directly. Swish! 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 Streaks of blade light flashed like lightning. It moved so fast that people could not see it clearly. In a short span of time, Zidiao launched a frenzied saber attack. Unleashing hundreds of fast and violent strikes, Jian Wushuang remained indifferent despite having faced an extremely offensive attack. He naturally picked up his long sword and defended himself. Zidiao attacked furiously and Jian Wushuang defended itself. Clang! 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 Within a short breath of time, the two guards had already fought hundreds of times. Each time they had caused a huge roar, which shattered the decorations in the palace. Fortunately, this palace was refined by Commander Hong, so they were unable to destroy it. Amidst high-speed collisions, the fierce battle continued. Zidiao had already tried his best, but all his attacks were easily resisted by Jian Wushuang. Boy, how is this possible? Zidiao shot Jian Wushuang an astonished glance, but soon, the rage in his eyes soared. Eagle killing! A spiritual force gushed out. Shua! A blade light suddenly appeared as if an eagle opened its wings and rushed to its prey. It ruthlessly lashed out, leaving a huge crack in the sky. It was so fast that many of the other three-clawed blood eagle guards in the surrounding area were surprised. This strike was brilliant. Seeing this blade light coming over, Jian Wushuang casually loosed his hand. Then his long sword streaked out and collided with the blade light. Jian Wushuang still parried Zidiao's strongest move using his strongest sword with ease. It's impossible! Zidiao was finally shocked, but this shock quickly turned into madness. I don't believe it! Zidiao growled as his eyes became scarlet. He stepped forward and planned to attack again. But at this time, Jian Wushuang, who had not taken the initiative to strike a blow, suddenly raised his head to throw his opponent an icy glance. The next moment, a weird force swept out. The ancient god's secret skill, magical god. The magical god skill that targeted at one's consciousness. After it was reinforced by the divergent bloodstone, the consciousness attack became more powerful. This strike, like an immaterial sharp spike, thrust at Zidiao. Zidiao, who still wanted to fight with Jian Wushuang, had not noticed it at all. Whoosh! The immaterial sharp spike hit Zidiao's consciousness as if someone knocked his head with a huge drumstick. Zidiao shivered before his eyes immediately became hollow. His consciousness was caught in chaos that was unprecedented, although it only lasted for a second. But in such an instant, Jian Wushuang actually attacked. He waved the long sword to unleash a strike. Strike with the sword. Keep the sword. It was done smoothly. Zidiao's head had already been cut off. His gaze was still empty. When his head landed on the ground, he finally regained his consciousness. Buzz! A lot of spiritual power gathered wildly and Zidiao's body was combined with his head again. Although Jian Wushuang cleft his head, Zidiao's life core had not been crushed. As an Eternal Realm expert, Zidiao would not really die. Come to this moment, this fierce battle had ended finally. How is this possible? Zidiao widened his eyes and stared at Jian Wushuang while he murmured. The other three-clawed blood eagle guard all looked at each other with an odd expression. Zidiao had obviously looked down on Jian Wushuang and thought that the new three-clawed blood eagle guard was definitely not powerful. As a result, Jian Wushuang chopped off Zidiao's head. which embarrassed the latter. Boy, you actually have the skill to directly attack people's consciousness? You're sinister. Zidiao's voice echoed in the palace. I can't accept it. Without your insidious methods, you should have lost the fight. You can't accept it? Jian Wushuang's face became frosty. He had shown his mercy, but Zidiao remained somewhat unappreciative. Enough! A shout was heard before the entire hall immediately became quiet. Zidiao still wanted to say something and immediately stopped. He turned his head and looked at Commander Hong. Commander, I am not convinced. Blood Mountain, he just relied on the insidious consciousness attack, but his strength cannot be compared to mine. Oh! Commander Hong threw an icy stare at Zidiao, saying, if Blood Mountain had used his full strength, do you think that you will still be alive? If Blood Mountain had used his full strength, do you think that you are still alive? Commander Hong's words tingled Zidiao's heart. Zidiao hemmed and hawed for a while, but could not say half a word at all. Even if he was unwilling to accept it, he was unable to deny what had just happened. If Jian Wushuang had not shown any mercy, Zidiao would have died already. Humph! Commander Hong snorted and yelled, lost is lost, but you still want to defend yourself? Do you think that you'll win if Blood Mountain didn't use a consciousness attack skill? Zidiao was stunned and immediately looked over at his opponent. Jian Wushuang still looked indifferent. The other three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard shot a scornful glance at Zidiao. All of them were experts at the peak of Step 6, so they had seen this fight clearly. Jian Wushuang had always been resisting Zidiao's attack in a calm manner. They all knew that Jian Wushuang had not used his full strength. Jian Wushuang seemingly won the fight because of the consciousness attack. In fact, he was unwilling to expose too many skills, so he chose the simplest way. Even if Jian Wushuang had not done consciousness attack, Zidiao was still unable to defeat him. Blood Mountain is very powerful. He is strong indeed. In fact, he has been defending in the fight and have not shown all his strength. But he easily defeated Zidiao with a casual attack. I'm afraid his real strength ranks in the top 5 among us. Top 5? I don't think so. Maybe top 3. Zidiao lost. But he is not convinced? It's ridiculous. Three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards chatted freely, so Jian Wushuang and Zidiao were able to hear them. Zidiao flushed, his face turning pig liver color. Jian Wushuang still had an indifferent look. It was not a big deal for him to defeat Zidiao. 15 years ago, he was able to compete against experts at peak of Step 6 using the Blood Mountain sword, after a month of cultivation in the Divine Sea. Over the past 15 years, his strength greatly improved through the task training. His sword heart had reached level 4. Even without the Blood Mountain sword and the mind-controlling secret skill, Jian Wushuang was confident enough to fight against Zidiao. Therefore, he easily won this fight. All right, Commander Hong spoke. The entire hall became quiet. As you said, those who are powerful should be respected and qualified to take the Hell-level mission. Now you have lost to Blood Mountain, but if you are not convinced, you can go to challenge Zhou, Linglong, Shui Jin. As long as you can beat any of them, you still have the opportunity to perform this Hell-level mission, Commander Hong said indifferently. Upon hearing this, Zidiao's face started to twitch. The 17 three-clawed Blood Eagle Guards had also sparred with each other, so there was also a general ranking of strength about them. Zidiao ranked 11th, while Zhou, Linglong, and Shui Jin, Zhou ranked 1st. The other three-clawed Blood Eagle Guard had to confess that they could not match him. Linglong ranked 3rd, and she was known as the most horrible one as she had countless skills. Even Zhou did not dare to challenge her. Shui Jin ranked 8th, 3 levels higher than Zidiao. 5 guards stood out at the same time. The reason why Zidiao let Jian Wushuang give up was that the other 3 were stronger than him, so he had to bully Jian Wushuang. He did not expect that Jian Wushuang was a tough one. In that case, Zidiao had no opportunity to take this task. So, you are not going to challenge them? Commander Hong stared at Zidiao while asking. Zidiao gritted his teeth, but eventually, he shook his head with a wry smile. In this case, the 4 people who will perform the Hell-level mission this time have already been determined: Zhou, Linglong, Shuijin, and Blood Mountain. Commander Hong announced the result. As for the other guards, go to carry out your previous tasks. Yes, I do. The 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards who did not accept the Hell-level mission quickly left. Commander Hong stood on the steps while looking at the 4 guards. This mission is not the same as before. 4 of you have good strength, but you'd better do mental preparation for it. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang and the other 3 guards became serious. Commander Hong glided forward and waved at them. Follow me. Commander, where are we going? Josue could not help but ask. Commander Hong replied, this Hell-level mission is personally released by Empress Lung. I don't know the content of the mission. Therefore, I'll take you to see Empress Lung. Empress Lung. 4 of them were all struck dumb. Empress Lung? One of the 4 emperors in the heyday of the Tang of the East? The real ruler of the Tang of the East? Empress Lung, who had great fame and deterrence in the eternal world? The sky was azure and as clean as a polished porcelain plate. The imperial palace of the Tang of the East was extremely huge and heavily guarded. The most elite royal guards were responsible for the inner security of the palace, and the weakest of these guards were the Eternal Realm experts. In addition, some important people in the palace were also protected by Blood Eagle guards. Of course, these were just the forces that could be seen. Many strong people, including Dao Master, also stayed inside to guard the palace in private. Under the guidance of Calm Idiot, Commander Hong, Jian Wushuang, and the other 3 entered the palace. It's really big, Shuijin secretly sighed. I have met some of the major forces before, but this is the first time I have come to the imperial palace of the Tang of the East. That's because you only accepted those extremely dangerous and rigorous tasks. In order to protect our respective goals, Josue and I have wanted to live in this palace for a long time. Josue's dream lover is also in the palace. Linglong laughed casually. Dream lover? Are you talking about the princess who is called the number 1 beauty in the eternal world? Shuijin's eyes lit up. I'm really curious to see how beautiful the princess is. While listening to the 2 guards talk about Lung Rushuang, Jian Wushuang could not help but glance at Josue. Josue smiled slightly. The princess is indeed my life goal, but I know my place. I can't covet a fairy-like lady like her. In that case, why did you step forward when you heard that this mission is related to her? Linglong joked. That's different. Josue shook his head and solemnly said, what I want is not to be with her, but to do everything I can for her. For me, as long as it is related to her, even if it is a trivial matter, I will give up my life to finish it. Even though the princess doesn't know who I am and what I've done for her, I will still be very happy. Haha, a fool. Linglong smirked. Shuijin was also staring at Josue as if he was watching a fool, but the latter did not care about it. Josue was obsessed with Lung Rushuang. He did not ask for anything from her, but he was willing to pay any price, even his own life. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang could not help looking at Josue differently. He sighed inwardly. Idiot! He questioned himself and thought he would never behave like Josue, silently giving up everything for someone but not asking for the slightest return. We're here. Commander Hong suddenly stopped for a moment before gliding toward a magnificent temple. Jian Wushuang and the other 3 guards immediately followed. The splendid hall was very spacious with 6 huge columns placed on each side. Each of the columns was paired with a golden dragon. In front of the main hall, there were 9 great steps which represented the position of the emperor. On the top step, there was an ornate golden throne with an upright figure sitting on it. This figure was wearing a golden silk feather robe and a golden double phoenix crown. She looked stunning, with a dignified, mature temperament. Most importantly, her beautiful face was filled with the aura of an emperor. She was a peerless beauty. She not only looked like an unattainable phoenix on a branch, but she also left the impression of a creepy poisonous scorpion hiding in the dark. She was Empress Lung. She is Lung Rushuang's mother and the wife of Emperor Xiao? Jian Wushuang stepped into the hall and could not help but look up at Empress Lung, who happened to meet his gaze. Jian Wushuang felt as if his heart was going to freeze and his back was completely soaked with sweat. Such a simple glance had terrified him. Awful. This woman is terrifying, Jian Wushuang thought in terror. When Jian Wushuang saw Emperor Shao, a supreme existence in the eternal world, he felt the emperor was stately but very kind, so he had a good impression of him. But this Empress Leng, the look in her eyes alone was enough to make others surrender. Perhaps when speaking of strength, Empress Leng was not comparable to Emperor Shao, but in Jian Wushuang's eyes, Empress Leng seemed to be 100 times more horrifying than Emperor Shao. Empress Leng, I have brought the 4 three-clawed blood eagle guards who will take on this hell-level mission. Commander Hong, a Dao master, addressed Empress Leng with respect. A moment later, Empress Leng stood up from the throne. She was almost 2 meters tall with a perfect shape. Even Ling Long, a great beauty, was overshadowed by Emperor Leng. Jian Wushuang had met countless gorgeous ladies before, but he thought only Lang Rushuang could match her mother, Empress Leng, in aspects of appearance, figure, and temperament. Sure enough, girls are like their mother. Jian Wushuang could not help but sigh. Empress Leng looked at them one by one with her cold eyes. The moment Zhou Zue, Ling Long, Shui Jin made eye contact with Empress Leng, they involuntarily lowered their heads. Empress Leng eventually fixed her eyes on Jian Wushuang as an icy aura swept out from her. Oh, you almost fool me. Empress Leng's voice became very cold. She glanced at Commander Hong and said, Commander Hong, you picked 3-clawed blood eagle guards, but why is a divine realm expert standing here? What? Commander Hong was shocked. Zhou Zue, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were also horrified. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang was astonished. A divine realm expert? She recognized that I am a divine realm expert? A divine realm expert? Commander Hong and the other guards all looked over at Jian Wushuang. Blood Mountain, he is a divine realm expert? How is this possible? The 4 people, including Commander Hong, were a bit dumbfounded. Jian Wushuang was a divine realm expert? A divine realm expert became a 3-clawed blood eagle guard? A divine realm expert was able to complete a catastrophe-level task alone? A divine realm expert was able to easily defeat Zi Diao? How could such a divine realm expert exist in the world? Under everyone's gaze, Jian Wushuang had a wry smile. He was only a divine realm expert, but he had used the Yin-Yang mirror to hide his aura. The Yin-Yang mirror was indeed extraordinary. Ordinary Dao masters were unable to see through him. Even Commander Hong had not discovered the truth. However, Empress Leng, one of the 4 emperors of the Tang of the East, was a supreme Dao master. Faced with such a super expert, the Yin-Yang mirror was useless. Jian Wushuang had no intention to defend himself and said directly, Empress Leng, I am indeed a divine realm expert, but I am also a 3-clawed blood eagle guard. Oh! Empress Leng looked at Commander Hong. Empress Leng, Blood Mountain indeed relied on his own ability to complete all kinds of difficult tasks and become a 3-clawed blood eagle guard. He also beat another 3-clawed blood eagle guard. So his strength is good, Commander Hong said. Since his strength is fine, then forget it, but it is rare that a divine realm expert can become a 3-clawed blood eagle guard, Empress Leng said in a flat, toneless voice. But Zhou Zue, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were rocked to their core. They had also seen a lot of divine realm experts. The powerful divine realm experts they have met in the eternal world usually had step 4 battle strength. Even Xia Yan, the number 1 divine realm expert, barely possessed step 5 battle strength. Nevertheless, there was a huge gap between Xia Yan and Jian Wushuang. They never imagined that a divine realm expert would have battle strength at the peak of step 6. This had never happened in the history of the eternal world. Jian Wushuang was absolutely the strongest divine realm expert. Well, let's get back to business. Empress Leng looked down. I requested for you this time because of a special task. As for the contents of the task, wait here a moment and someone will explain it to you. Jian Wushuang was waiting quietly in the hall with his fellow guards, who threw a quick glance at him from time to time. Not long after, a figure stepped in. It was a big fat man in a luxurious robe who wore a variety of gems. His face was just as large as a watermelon. The fatty went straight to the steps and respectfully bowed. "I pay my respects to Empress Lung." "Rise." Empress Lung waved her hand. The fatty could not help but look at the people standing next to him. Jian Wushuang also glanced at the fatty. They were both shocked. Both of them were ecstatic. "Ha-ha! Third brother." The fatty directly let out a hearty laugh. "Big brother Wang Yuan." Jian Wushuang was also pleasantly surprised. Yes, this fatty was Jian Wushuang's sworn brother, Wang Yuan. In this world, Jian Wushuang had few valued friends, but his 3 sworn brothers were an exception. Jian Wushuang had met Yang Zixuan on Circus Island. Now, in this palace of the Tang of the East, he had encountered Wang Yuan. "How? Do you know each other?" A cold voice, containing endless majesty, echoed throughout the palace. Jian Wushuang and Wang Yuan immediately realized they had overreacted and started to reign in their ecstasy. Wang Yuan replied, "Empress Lung, this is my good brother from the ancient world. He left the ancient world alone many years ago and I haven't seen him since. Meeting each other again like this was a surprise. I forgot myself, so I'm sorry. I hope you won't blame me." "No problem." Empress Lung waved her hand. "You can tell them about this mission now." "Okay." Wang Yuan nodded, then turned to tell them the details. But at this moment, his brow was locked and his look was somewhat complicated. He did not expect that Jian Wushuang would get involved in this matter. This mission was so dangerous that death was almost guaranteed. Wang Yuan spoke. "This mission is related to the princess. The princess's constitution is very unique. Because of this, she has been tortured by a deadly poison for a long time. Nothing can detoxify her body, but her current condition has deteriorated to a new level. So the princess needs an elixir to stabilize her condition, but this elixir is at an extremely high level that is beyond your imagination. Throughout the eternal world, there are less than 3 people who are able to refine this elixir. Even the materials for refining this elixir are rare. We can get all of them, except one of the most precious and important materials, the dragon phoenix fruit." "Dragon phoenix fruit?" Jian Wushuang was intrigued. He had never heard of it. However, even the Tang of the East was unable to obtain this dragon phoenix fruit, which meant that this fruit was really rare and precious. This dragon phoenix fruit has almost disappeared in the eternal world. Many years ago, the Tang of the East sent people to secretly search for it, but no news about it was discovered. Until recently, that is. We've heard that a long time ago, an Eternal Realm expert called Kong Ming received a dragon phoenix fruit by chance. We found out that Kong Ming was hunted 50,000 years ago, and he fled into Stellar Fog Sea. But after that, there was no trace. Your mission is to go to Stellar Fog Sea, find Kong Ming, and get the dragon phoenix fruit from him. Wang Yuan spoke very casually. They just had to go to Stellar Fog Sea, find Kong Ming, and get the dragon phoenix fruit from him. Everyone was shocked when they heard him mention the Stellar Fog Sea. Even Jian Wushuang shivered. Stellar Fog Sea? Before Jian Wushuang left the firmament territory, his senior brother Xueling Tian gave him an incomparably detailed star map, which recorded numerous territories of the eternal world, including many naturally perilous places. Among the naturally perilous places, there were 5 famous ones. The 5 places were regarded as the 5 most dangerous places in the eternal world. Even Tao masters were afraid of them. The Stellar Fog Sea was one of the 5 dangerous places, ranking 2nd place. Jian Wushuang had carefully read the information about the 5 dangerous places. The Stellar Fog Sea, also known as the Terminating Sea, was very peculiar. Anyone who was above a Tao master was unable to enter it. Many powerful Tao masters had tried to explore the Stellar Fog Sea, but as soon as they stepped into it, they would naturally come out after a while. They were only able to explore the outer perimeter. As for the Eternal Realm or Divine Realm experts, they were able to go inside. However, none of them had ever walked out. In order to gain opportunities or survive, many experts had tried to escape into the Stellar Fog Sea, but no one had ever gotten out, which illustrated its horror and mystery. Jian Wushuang did not expect that this hell-level mission would be so dangerous and that he would be going to the stellar fog sea. Zhou Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin also paled. Ling Long and Shui Jin even regretted accepting this hell-level task. However, it was too late to go back on their promise now that they had met Empress Lung and learned about the mission. Now you know what it is about. Empress Lung stood on the steps while looking at them. Of course, this task is extraordinary, so I will also give you a year to prepare. During this year, you can do whatever you want in the time remaining. Empress Lung waved her hands and 4 halos landed on the 4 guards, giving them no chance to struggle. The 4 halos were implanted in their bodies. I've put a restriction in your bodies. During this year, you're forbidden from disclosing the contents of this mission to anyone, and all of you must head for Stellar Fog Sea when the time limit is up. If you go back on your promise, this restriction will kill you directly, Empress Lung said coldly. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang and the other 3 were stunned. Empress Lung was really vicious. She actually forced them to carry out the task with a restriction. With this restriction, it was obviously impossible for them to quit. Empress Lung continued speaking. In addition, considering that this mission is very important, and in order to give you a better chance of finishing this mission, I will offer you some rewards in advance. Upon hearing this, the 4 guards who were obviously excited about receiving payment ahead of time re-raised their heads. For this mission, each of you will be given an Emperor weapon. Emperor weapon? The eyes of Zhou Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin lit up. Under normal circumstances, only Dao Masters were usually equipped with Emperor weapons. Very few Eternal Realm experts had one. Only Eternal Realm experts who had heaven-defying strength and paid a huge price would be able to obtain an Emperor weapon. Of course, those who had a good enough background could also obtain one. Therefore, Emperor weapons were extravagant hopes for ordinary Eternal Realm experts. As 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards, Zhou Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were qualified to acquire Emperor weapons, but they needed to pay too many points, so until now none of them possessed an Emperor weapon. They also yearned for an Emperor weapon. After all, a suitable Emperor weapon would cause a big improvement in their strength. Say it, what kind of Emperor weapon do you want? Empress Lung looked down at the 4 guards below. Zhou Zui responded, Empress Lung, I need a long spear, one that is as heavy as possible. I need a long whip. No other requirement as long as it's easy to use. Ling Long also said. Shui Jin continued, I want an extremely sharp saber. The 3 of them did not hesitate to choose the most suitable Emperor weapon for them, which also helped to slightly relieve their fear of the Stellar Fog Sea. What about you? Empress Lung looked over at Jian Wushuang with her cold eyes. Jian Wushuang frowned at the moment. After he noticed Empress Lung's gaze, he deliberated for a while and said, Empress Lung, I would like to ask if I can change the reward, because an Emperor weapon is useless to me. He was telling the truth. His master, Xianxia, had given him the Blood Mountain sword, which was not only the mighty but also had the ability to suppress others. Ordinary Emperor weapons could not compare to his sword. Therefore, Jian Wushuang did not need another Emperor weapon. It seems you already have an appropriate Emperor weapon. Empress Lung threw him a significant glance, which struck his heart. You can ask for something which is equivalent to an Emperor weapon. Speak. What do you want? Empress Lung asked in an icy tone. Jian Wushuang was deep in thought. For now, he had the Blood Mountain sword for attack and the Blood Eagle armor for defense. As for any other special treasures, he did not need them at present. He also had a lot of secret skills. After debating with himself for a while, Jian Wushuang finally made a decision. He asked, Empress Lung, can I go to the Divine Sea again? The Divine Sea? Empress Lung glanced at him and nodded. You're just a Divine Realm expert, so the Divine Sea is really useful for you. Since that is the case, I'll allow you to enter it again, and the time limit will be 2 months. Thank you. Jian Wushuang was over the moon. Previously, because of the 1 month of cultivation in the Divine Sea, his strength had soared, so the Divine Sea was extremely beneficial to him. Now he had an opportunity to stay there for 2 months. Definitely, his overall strength would improve again. Empress Lung waved her hand and caused 3 objects to appear. after which these 3 emperor weapons were handed out to the other 3 guards. All right, go make your preparations. Remember, in a year from now you must go to the stellar fog sea. Empress Lung waved her hand and her underlings immediately left. After walking out of the palace, those guards started talking about it. I didn't expect this hell-level mission would be to go to the stellar fog sea. The stellar fog sea is the terminating sea, the second most dangerous place. Although it's dangerous, there should be a glimmer of hope for us to survive. Zhou Zue, Ling Long, and Shui Jin sighed. Blood Mountain. Commander Hong looked at Jian Wushuang and said, "Good boy, you even fooled me." The other guards also stared at Jian Wushuang with complicated expressions. They were still shocked by the news that Jian Wushuang was a divine realm expert. It's a pity, with your talent, you would have had a brilliant future. But this time, alas. Commander Hong let out a sigh and said, "All 4 of you should be careful and try your best to get out alive." Yeah. They nodded. Well, you can go start making your preparations. Commander Hong waved his hand and the other 3 guards left. Except Jian Wushuang. Haha. Third brother. Wang Yuan finally couldn't help it and directly give Jian Wushuang a big bear hug. Big brother Wang Yuan. I haven't seen you for many years and you seem to be fatter. Jian Wushuang was laughing and joking. I heard that you're the chief alchemist of the Tang of the East. That's really awesome. How did you know? Wang Yuan released Jian Wushuang and looked at him. I met the second brother on Circus Island. He told me. Jian Wushuang replied. Oh. Wang Yuan raised his eyebrows and then dragged Jian Wushuang away. Come. Let's have a drink. No, Jian Wushuang shook his head and solemnly said, Big brother Wang Yuan, I have something to ask you. Say it. Wang Yuan also became solemn. You just said dragon phoenix fruit is needed to prepare an elixir for the princess. You meant Lung Rushuang, right? Has the situation with her icy heart poison become that serious now? Jian Wushuang asked. Yes, it's very serious. Wang Yuan nodded slightly. If she doesn't get the dragon phoenix fruit, what will happen to her? Jian Wushuang asked in a low voice. Wang Yuan spoke directly. Without the dragon phoenix fruit, there is no way to refine the crepe myrtle elixir. Without that, we can't detoxify the icy heart poison in her body. She will die. She'll die. Jian Wushuang's face fell. Big brother Wang Yuan, you're currently the chief alchemist and qualified to meet Empress Lung. So is it possible for you to take me to meet Lung Rushuang? He asked. You want to meet the princess? Wang Yuan stunned and thought for a while. I can take you to the place where she lives, but the rest depends on whether she would like to see you. Jian Wushuang responded. That's good enough, let's go. Wang Yuan nodded and then led his brother to the princess's residence. There was a huge, secluded courtyard in the deepest part of the palace. This courtyard was the residence of the legendary princess of the Tang of the East. Wang Yuan arrived in the front of the courtyard with Jian Wushuang. Please tell the princess Wang Yuan's here to pay a visit. Wang Yuan said to the maid by the gate of the courtyard. Master Wang, the princess has already said that she won't meet anyone. For nearly 100 years, she has been staying inside. Even Empress Lung has rarely met her, so please go back, the maid replied. Wang Yuan frowned. Go tell the princess that one of her old friends, Swordsman, wants to visit her. Jian Wushuang stepped forward. Swordsman? Friends. The maid was a little confused. After hesitating for a while, she nodded and said, Masters, please wait a moment. Third brother, I wonder whether she will meet you? Wang Yuan stared at Jian Wushuang with interest. I don't know. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He and Lung Rushuang were friends, but their relationship was quite subtle. Jian Wushuang was not clear about his position in her heart. The maid came back and shot Jian Wushuang a surprised look before saying, Masters, the princess asked me to bring you in. Wang Yuan grinned. Third brother, it seems that you have a place in the heart of the princess. As far as I know, over the past 100 years, many people have asked to visit the princess, but none of them were successful. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Under the guidance of the maid, Jian Wushuang and Wang Yuan stepped directly into the courtyard. It was not long before they came to a garden, which was full of all kinds of flowers. In the center of the garden, there was a jade table with a beautiful lady sitting by it for the moment. The moment Jian Wushuang and Wang Yuan set foot in this garden, they immediately saw her. Her beauty was indescribable. Her coldness endowed her with a fairy-like temperament. The combination of the two characters created a fascinating allure. It was not the first time that Wang Yuan had met Leng Rushuang. He had seen her once when studying the icy heart poison. Wang Yuan could not help but sigh. No wonder so many young talents in the eternal world are so crazy about her. She is indeed worthy of it. At this moment, the gorgeous lady apparently noticed the arrival of the two men. She immediately raised her head and looked over with her beautiful eyes. Jian Wushuang looked straight into her eyes. No words or actions were necessary. That simple moment of eye contact was enough to explain everything. Only Jian Wushuang, Leng Rushuang, and Wang Yuan were sitting by the jade table in the garden. Long time no see. Jian Wushuang calmly looked at Leng Rushuang. It's been a while since we met last. Who would have expected you to progress so fast? Leng Rushuang responded in an indifferent tone. Can I check the icy heart poison in your body? Asked Jian Wushuang. Leng Rushuang glanced at Jian Wushuang and nodded slightly. Okay. Leng Rushuang extended her jade hand while rolling up the sleeve, revealing her jade-like arm, but several spots on the arm looked extremely white and even terrible. As I expected, it has spread. Jian Wushuang looked solemn. Leng Rushuang had a huge seal inside her body, which had been suppressing the icy heart poison. However, the seal was unable to completely suppress it. Some of the icy heart poisons would slowly leak out. In the ancient world, Jian Wushuang helped Leng Rushuang refine a small part of the icy heart poison. But now more icy heart poison had leaked out. Jian Wushuang touched her skin and a trace of his spiritual power permeated into her body. After the spiritual power swam through her body for a while, Jian Wushuang had a general understanding of her condition. The poison has spread out this much? Jian Wushuang frowned. He thought the icy heart poison should not have spread as far as it had. In fact, her icy heart poison had worsened to a high level over the past 100 years. The seal was almost useless. Once Leng Rushuang was completely occupied by the icy heart poison, she would die. Don't move. Let me refine it for you. Jian Wushuang began to activate his spiritual power, swallowing some of the icy heart poison as he had done before. Aided by the heavenly creation skill, he was able to refine part of the icy heart poison. After a while, a part of the icy heart poison was successfully refined. It worked. Jian Wushuang smiled. However, this is just a portion of the icy heart poison that leaked out. The poison under the seal is much more powerful. Maybe I can refine it. Jian Wushuang tried to inject his spiritual power into the seal, and then carefully refined a small part of it. But, buzz, an unprecedented chill swept over him before his entire body and mind were almost frozen. Impossible! The sharp pain made Jian Wushuang shout out. Jian Wushuang used his mind, and then his slaughter body appeared next to him while his world body turned into an ice sculpture. Shwa! The ice sculpture shattered, and the world body completely disappeared from this world. The slaughter body widened his eyes. If he had not let his slaughter body escape in time, Jian Wushuang would have been killed by the icy heart poison. It's too strong. The icy heart poison under the seal is horrible. My current ability isn't enough. I can't refine it unless I make a breakthrough to the eternal realm. No, that's not enough. I have to be a Tao master. That's the only way it would be possible to refine the poison in her body. Jian Wushuang roared in his heart. Third brother, how did it go? Wang Yuan immediately looked over. Jian Wushuang. Leng Rushuang looked worried. It's nothing. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He didn't care about the destruction of his world body because he was able to create another. What he cared about was the poison in Leng Rushuang's body. Jian Wushuang spoke. That poison I can't help you for now. I can only transform the poison that leaked out from your seal at most. I understand. Leng Rushuang nodded slightly. She had expected this. I haven't seen you for a long time. Let me play for you. Lung Rushuang continued. She waved her hands and a Chinese zither appeared on the table. Lung Rushuang calmed herself before she plucked at the strings. Buzz. A crisp sound was heard. This tune sounded a little sad but charming. Her music was peerless. Wang Yuan and Jian Wushuang were intoxicated by it. The moment the music was over, Jian Wushuang immediately stood up. He said, I still have something to do, so I have to go first, but I'll come back again. Rest assured, I will definitely detoxify it for you. Okay, I believe you. Lung Rushuang still had an indifferent look. Jian Wushuang and Wang Yuan quickly left the garden. Jian Wushuang suddenly stopped with his hands clasped, staring at Wang Yuan. Big brother Wang Yuan, if the poison continues to worsen, how long will she survive? 300 years at most. Wang Yuan replied directly. What if we get the dragon phoenix fruit? Jian Wushuang added. With the dragon phoenix fruit, we can refine a crepe myrtle elixir which is powerful enough to suppress her poison. Then she'll live for another 100,000 years at least. Wang Yuan responded. 100,000 years? Even Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. That's long enough. That's plenty of time. With my ability, I can definitely become a Dao master within 100,000 years and then help her refine the poison. But now, the most urgent task is to obtain the dragon phoenix fruit. I have to get it in 300 years. Stellar Fog Sea? Even if it is a netherworld, I'll still have to make a trip. After coming out of the palace, Wang Yuan wanted to have a drink with his brother. However, Jian Wushuang's message token rang out at this moment. He received a message from his senior brother, Xue Lingtian. Junior brother, where are you now? Asked Xue Lingtian. Jian Wushuang immediately answered, I am in the imperial palace of the Tang of the East. In the imperial palace? Haha. I am currently in the secluded Rainbow Prefecture's Silver City. There's a huge auction here that will last for a few days. If you have nothing to do, then come here. I will give you your present. It's something that will be auctioned here, Xue Lingtian said. A present? Jian Wushuang was intrigued. In the Firmament territory, each of his 3 senior brothers had prepared a present for their first meeting. However, he had only received the gifts from 3rd senior brother, Bai Hu, and 2nd senior brother Purple Mountain, because his big senior brother Xue Lingtian had not obtained the item yet. The gift senior brother has prepared for me is in the auction? Jian Wushuang thought with some expectation. His big senior brother was powerful and distinguished, so a present that he prepared for ahead of time would be brilliant. Jian Wushuang instantly refused the invitation from Wang Yuan and immediately headed for Silver City. After passing through the wormhole in the Tang of the East, Jian Wushuang quickly arrived at his destination. Silver City was originally very prosperous in the secluded Rainbow Prefecture. At this moment, Silver City was hosting a large-scale auction which opened every 1,000 years. It was said that countless treasures would be auctioned, which attracted a lot of experts. Some of the treasures at the auction even aroused the attention of Dao masters, so Dao masters would attend it. The spectacular auction was crowded with people. When Jian Wushuang arrived, the auction had already been in progress for 2 days. Over the past 2 days, no less than 1,000 treasures had been auctioned, but the experts' enthusiasm had not been dampened. The auction site was divided into 2 layers. The exhibition platform was on the 1st floor, surrounded by lots of seats. Most of the people who bid for treasures on the 1st floor were ordinary warriors. Perhaps a few powerful experts would hide in there. The 2nd floor was equipped with luxurious VIP rooms. The cost of renting one of these was 10 million divine gems per day. Ordinary experts were simply not eligible to enter the VIP rooms. Those who had an independent VIP room at the auction were usually supreme experts like Dao masters or experts with a strong background. Jian Wushuang appeared on the 1st floor while watching the black-robed host auction off a secret skill on the exhibition platform. The secret skill was used for escape. Many warriors on the 1st floor yearned for it and eagerly bid. So it didn't take long for the price of the secret skill to rise to 13 million divine gems. Jian Wushuang took a seat on the 1st floor while thinking about the VIP rooms on the 2nd floor. Senior brother should also be in one of the VIP rooms, but I do not know which one. Jian Wushuang was deep in thought. He was eager to know what Shui Lingtian had prepared for him. The auction was still going on. Treasures were presented one by one. There were all kinds of treasures, such as magic weapons, secret skills, elixirs, and natural treasures, all of a high level. Some treasures were extremely rare, so much so that they even attracted experts from the VIP rooms. However, none of the treasures were useful to Jian Wushuang. Even if there was something he needed, he was able to trade points for it in the treasure vault of the Blood Eagle Guard. Time passed by. Jian Wushuang had been sitting there calmly and had not bid for anything. In the blink of an eye, the remaining 10 days had almost completely passed. Many treasures had been auctioned with only the last 3 treasures remaining. Naturally, the value of the final treasures would be superior to the previous treasures. Many warriors' eyes sparkled with eagerness. The experts in the VIP rooms had also prepared for it. The first treasure was taken out. It turned out to be a rusty iron token with an ancient aura. At first glance, this token looked ordinary. However, when the experts in the VIP rooms saw the word "Heartless" carved in the iron token, their eyes lit up. This is a token from the Heartless Palace? Yes, it is. It can't be wrong. It said that there are 9 tokens from the Heartless Divine Palace spread throughout the eternal world. I did not expect to see one here today. Haha. The Heartless Divine Palace has many great opportunities, so this token is quite valuable. The first piece is this token? The experts who learned about this item were ready to bid. The black-robed elder began to introduce the treasure. Everyone, the first treasure is this token. It's a token from the Heartless Divine Palace. With this token, you can enter the Heartless Divine Palace and obtain some great opportunities. Now the auction begins. We'll start at 100 million divine gems. The moment the black-robed elder announced it, the experts who coveted this token didn't waste any time before bidding on it. 100 million divine gems, 200 million divine gems, 500 million divine gems. After a while, someone bid 800 million divine gems, which was almost equal to all the possession of a Dao Master. That price was soaring at an alarming speed. Heartless Divine Palace? Jian Wushuang frowned as he had never heard of it. However, since this token was great enough to make powerful experts bid for it, the Heartless Divine Palace should be extremely extraordinary. The price of the token quickly reached 2.4 billion divine gems. Once it reached this price, no one was willing to bid higher. In the end, the token was bought by a person in the VIP room at a price of 2.4 billion divine gems. After the auction of the first treasure, the second one was displayed. It was a magic weapon in the shape of a giant axe. This Saiyan giant axe gave off an extremely terrifying aura the instant it was placed on the exhibition shelf. Even the Dao Masters in the VIP rooms changed their look. Emperor weapon. In addition, it's not an ordinary one. Such strong power. It must be a peak-level Emperor weapon. Oh gosh! The first treasure was a token from the Heartless Divine Palace, and the second one is a peak-level Emperor weapon. It's a good stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not proficient with a giant axe, so it's not useful for me. Lots of people sighed on the second floor. An Emperor weapon was extremely useful even for a Dao Master. The higher-level Emperor weapons were even more useful. The only regret was that this Emperor weapon was a giant axe, while only 3 or 4 top experts chose to use a giant axe as their weapon. I'll get this magic weapon. Whatever it takes. This giant axe will be mine. Go get more divine gems from our tribe. Quickly. I've decided to buy this giant axe. The experts who chose the giant axe as their weapon were almost going crazy over it. A peak-level Emperor weapon could only be found by depending on luck. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. Before long, they started bidding crazily on this magic weapon. In the market, an ordinary Emperor weapon cost hundreds of millions of divine gems. The price of an Emperor weapon at the peak level was definitely 10 times more than that. In the end, this peak-level Emperor weapon was sold at an astonishing price of 6.8 billion divine gems. After the first and second treasure finished being auctioned off at a breathtaking price, the last one appeared. When the black-robed elder took out the last treasure, the hearts of many people in the auction seemed to skip a beat. The first treasure sold for 2.4 billion divine gems, while the second sold for 6.8 billion divine gems. The third one, which was also the last one, must be even more precious and valuable. How much would it be? The third treasure the black-robed elder took out was 3 paintings. Yes, 3 ordinary paintings. However, everyone present knew that it must be extraordinary since it was the last treasure. Everyone, this is the last treasure today. The 3 paintings you see are actually a set of formations. To be exact, it's a sword formation, the black-robed elder explained. Sword formation? His words caused a stir among the crowd. Jian Wushuang also watched it attentively. Shui Lingtian mentioned that the gift for him would be sold at auction. The previous treasures meant nothing to him, while the last treasure was a sword formation related to sword principle. Was it? This sword formation is called the 9th Heaven Sword Formation. The black-robed elder paused deliberately with a smile on his face. As he expected, the name of the sword formation caused a stir on the second floor of the auction house. 9th Heaven Sword Formation. It's the 9th Heaven Sword Formation. Go, return to the tribe and collect plenty of divine gems for me. The 9th Heaven Sword Formation has appeared. I have to get it no matter the price. The experts in the VIP rooms on the second floor were astonished. Even those Tao masters who were not good at sword principle and had no need for the 9th Heaven Sword Formation had heard of its name. They had not expected that the last treasure in the auction was the legendary 9th Heaven Sword Formation. As the experts on the second floor had a wide array of knowledge, they knew the origin of the 9th Heaven Sword Formation. But the ordinary warriors on the first floor were very confused. They, including Jian Wushuang, had no idea what the 9th Heaven Sword Formation was and had never heard of it. The black-robed elder continued the introduction. The 9th Heaven Sword Formation is a very complicated and strong sword formation, which was created by 2 extraordinary experts. One of them was a supreme expert who ranks first in sword principle, Sunrise Sword Emperor. Sunrise Sword Emperor. When the name was spoken from the mouth of the black-robed elder, the entire auction house immediately began to seethe. Sunrise Sword Emperor? The number 1 sword cultivator in the eternal world? It was him. Many people widened their eyes, stunned. The Sunrise Sword Emperor was recognized as the number 1 sword cultivator in the eternal world and enjoyed a great reputation. Even the 4 emperors at the peak stage in the Tang of the East were not as famous as him. In terms of strength, only Empress Qing, who had long been dead, could compete with the Sunrise Sword Emperor. The other 3 emperors, Emperor Shao, Emperor Yun, and Empress Lung, were all weaker than him. The terrifying strength of Sunrise Sword Emperor was imaginable. In a corner of the first floor of the auction, Jian Wushuang also raised his head when he heard what the black-robed elder said. Sunrise Sword Emperor? Jian Wushuang was astonished. He had received a token from his master, Xianxia, which contained 3 streaks of sword essence from the Sunrise Sword Emperor. He had used the weakest one, which already contained a breathtaking sword essence. He was full of admiration for this supreme being known as the number 1 sword cultivator in the eternal world. In a VIP room on the second floor of the auction. Uncle, is the Sunrise Sword Emperor really so great? Should he be treated so seriously? A middle-aged man stood respectfully in front of a white-bearded elder. They came from a great clan in the Tang of the East, where there were many experts and even 4 Tao masters. This white-bearded elder was the strongest among the 4 Tao masters. In the middle-aged man's view, as the white-bearded elder was so strong and well-known in the eternal world, he should be comparable to the Sunrise Sword Emperor. The white-bearded elder smiled bitterly and said, "The Sunrise Sword Emperor? He's a monster. Many years ago, I met him once and witnessed him killing a Tao master with only 1 sword stroke. That Tao master was much stronger than me. What do you think? Is he qualified to be treated seriously?" The middle-aged man trembled when he heard the white-bearded elder's words. He was very aware of the strength of his uncle, but his uncle said that the Sunrise Sword Emperor only used 1 sword stroke to kill a Tao master who was even stronger than him. How strong was the Sunrise Sword Emperor? The ninth heaven sword formation was indeed created by the Sunrise Sword Emperor with another expert. Its value is immeasurable. I still have some divine gems, but I'm not sure if it's enough. The white-bearded elder clenched both fists, his eyes sparkling with excitement. At the auction, the black-robed elder looked around, not surprised at the astonishment of the warriors. He spoke again. The other creator of Ninth Heaven Sword Formation was Tao Master Spirit, also known as the number 1 Formation Master in the Eternal World. They created the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation together. With Sunrise Sword Emperor's supreme swordsmanship and Tao Master Spirit's profound research on formation, this sword formation is the strongest sword formation in the Eternal World. Once he finished his words, the auction began seething once again. The number 1 sword cultivator in the Eternal World, and the number 1 formation master in the Eternal World. They created the strongest sword formation together? Craziness. The experts, including those who were not proficient at sword principle, displayed an unprecedented craziness over this sword formation. Jian Wushuang's eyes also lit up. He was full of expectations towards the number 1 sword formation in the Eternal World. The Ninth Heaven Sword Formation actually consists of 4 sword formations, but only the first 3 are being auctioned today, which are the 3 paintings in front of you, the black-robed elder said. His words made lots of experts in the auction feel somewhat disheartened. Only 3 sword formations were up for auction. Apparently, this was not the complete Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. Nevertheless, even the first 3 sword formations were already incredibly powerful. The reserve price is 1 billion divine gems. Let's start now, the black-robed elder announced. Those experts who were crazy about the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation immediately responded. 1 billion divine gems. 1.3 billion. 1.5 billion. The auction price was rising at an alarming speed. Suddenly a cold voice came from a VIP room in the middle of the 2nd floor. 5 billion divine gems. 5 billion? Did this man directly raise the auction price to 5 billion divine gems? Who is he? The experts, including those in the VIP rooms on the 2nd floor, could not help looking toward that room where the voice came from. 5 billion divine gems? The white-bearded elder looked towards that room and frowned. Uncle, it seems that this man is determined to get the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation, the middle-aged man said. Determined? Humph. Isn't everyone determined? The white-bearded elder snorted and bid again. 5.5 billion divine gems. 10 billion. The indifferent voice sounded again. The entire auction house quieted down. 10 billion divine gems was a sum beyond most people's imagination. Those who had gone crazy over the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation took a deep breath and shook their heads, deciding to give up on bidding. Lots of experts were attracted to this auction, including a dozen Tao Masters. However, few of them could afford 10 billion divine gems. Who is that man? The white-bearded elder was enraged after hearing the new bid. His clan was able to afford 10 billion divine gems, but he did not bring so many divine gems this time. Therefore, he could not continue to bid against this man. Go find out that man's identity. I want to know who this upstart is, the white-bearded elder said with a hint of coldness in his voice. Yes. The middle-aged man went to check immediately. The lively auction finally quieted down when the cold voice announced the bid of 10 billion divine gems. No one else offered to bid a higher price. In the end, the man with the cold voice got the first 3 sword formations of the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. Ha! Everyone. Since the last treasure has been auctioned off, let's call it a day. You may leave now. The black-robed elder's loud voice reverberated in the auction house, after which the experts began to disperse. While dispersing, they were still talking about the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. The unbelievable bid, 10 billion divine gems, astonished them again and again. In the VIP room where the white-bearded elder stayed, the middle-aged man had returned. He walked to the elder and said with a hint of horror, Uncle, I found out that man's identity. Who is he? The elder immediately looked at him. I'm not completely certain who he is, but I know that he comes from the Void Temple. According to the information from our clan, He is probably Master Bloodsaber, one of the 18 masters in the Void Temple. The middle-aged man replied. What? It's him. The white-bearded elder was shocked, and a hint of fear flashed through his eyes. Void Temple was a giant overlord which the Tang of the East dared not offend. A real overlord in the eternal world. The 18 masters, who were peak Dao masters, had very high positions in the Void Temple. Therefore, the white-bearded elder dared not offend any of them. The white-bearded elder had heard of Master Bloodsaber, who had become a master not long ago but was extremely strong. Master Bloodsaber could definitely be ranked in the top 5 among the 18 masters of the Void Temple. It's said that Master Bloodsaber is proficient at using the saber, and that his saber technique is extremely cruel and fast. Why did he buy the 9th Heaven Sword formation? Isn't it useless for him? Is he giving it to someone else? Isn't it said that Master Bloodsaber is always alone and has few friends? The white-bearded elder pondered. However, since the 9th Heaven Sword formation belonged to Master Bloodsaber now, he dared not dwell on it anymore. Oh well, it's a pity. He sighed slightly before leaving with the middle-aged man. Even though everyone else had left, Jian Wushuang still stayed there. Sure enough, just a moment later, he received a message from Xueling Tian. Junior brother, come to number 14 VIP room on the 2nd floor. No. 14. Jian Wushuang quickly realized that it was the room number of the man who bought the 9th Heaven Sword formation. Bingo! Jian Wushuang thought with a faint smile. Then he stepped directly into the VIP room. Xueling Tian, who was sitting alone in the room, threw something at Jian Wushuang as soon as he entered. Naturally, it was the 3 paintings which contained the 9th Heaven Sword formation. Do you like this gift, junior brother? Xueling Tian looked at Jian Wushuang with a smile. Jian Wushuang eagerly stared at the 3 painting scrolls in his hand. Jian Wushuang knew that Xueling Tian would prepare a generous gift for him, but he never expected it to be so precious. These 3 paintings were worth 10 billion divine gems. Thank you, first senior brother, Jian Wushuang said gratefully. You're welcome. Xueling Tian waved his hand casually. Jian Wushuang put the 3 paintings into his interspatial ring and sat down in front of Xueling Tian before asking, First senior brother, did you know in advance that the 9th Heaven Sword formation would be up for auction today? Yes. Xueling Tian nodded with a smile. Since I knew that I had a new junior brother, I started to prepare a gift for you. I happened to learn from the Void Temple that the 9th Heaven Sword formation was up for auction today, so I was prepared for it. The 9th Heaven Sword formation is very precious. Fortunately, I made preparations so that I could buy it for only 10 billion divine gems. If the auction house had spread the news of the 9th Heaven Sword formation, it would definitely have attracted a lot of experts who would bring more divine gems. By that time, it would be more difficult for me to buy it. Jian Wushuang nodded his head after hearing Xueling Tian's words. Since the 9th Heaven Sword formation was indeed precious, its true value was probably more than 10 billion divine gems. By the way, junior brother, I heard from our master that you killed the 2nd master of the Xia clan? Xueling Tian suddenly asked. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Haha, even though the 2nd master was not as talented as the 1st master, he had been cultivated by the Xia clan for a long time. The Xia clan felt a great loss over his death. No wonder they blamed our master and the ancient sect. Xueling Tian laughed. They blamed our master and the ancient sect? Jian Wushuang asked thoughtfully. He had expected the Xia clan's anger and had told his master about it. Don't worry, although the Xia clan was angry and wanted revenge, they won't dare to do anything as long as I'm alive, Xueling Tian said. Did you talk to them in person? Jian Wushuang asked. No. I just sent a message to the Xia clan that you're my junior brother and that we're disciples of the ancient sect. Xueling Tian smiled and continued. Although the Xia clan is the strongest overlord clan in the Tang of the East and has always been overbearing, they seem to be scheming something, so they are keeping a low profile for now. At present, they're unwilling to offend me, a master of the Void Temple, just out of anger. Of course, I can only prevent them from taking revenge on the ancient sect. I can't stop them from targeting you. That is to say, the Xia clan will find ways to kill you, but they won't dare to trouble our master and the ancient sect. Really? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows, not surprised at all. Although the position of Xueling Tian in the Void Temple was high, he still could not stop the Xia clan from seeking revenge on Jian Wushuang. The Xia clan already gave Xueling Tian respect when they decided to give up getting revenge on the ancient sect. Junior brother, the Xia clan has plenty of methods. Once you've been discovered by the Xia clan, it will be really troublesome, so you must act carefully, Xueling Tian said. Understood. Jian Wushuang nodded. All right, I've already given you your gift. I'm a little busy, so I have to go now. If you need me, send me a message at any time, Xueling Tian said. Thank you, first senior brother, Jian Wushuang said gratefully. Not long after Xueling Tian left, Jian Wushuang also left discreetly. He was just a divine realm expert, but he appeared to be in eternal realm because of the disguise with the yin-yang mirror, so he did not cause the slightest attention when he left. After leaving the auction house, he returned to the Blood Eagle Guard residence through the wormhole. Once he returned to his bedroom, Jian Wushuang started to study the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. Oh boy! This is the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. So incredible! He stared at the 3 paintings in his hand. Each painting represented a sword formation of the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. They all possessed a different power. The first sword formation was called Trackless Sword Move. 36 sword-type magic weapons would be combined together to release an extremely terrifying sword move that acted according to the formation's special structure. The second sword formation was named Flash Sword Formation, which required a combination of 72 swords. The third one was called Aurora Sword Formation, which required 108 swords. Each sword formation was stronger than the previous one. They were called sword formations because they were a combination of sword-type magic weapons, but the real aim was to improve their power. The most terrifying thing about it, though, was the supreme level of swordsmanship. This sword formation requires so many magic weapons? Jian Wushuang squinted slightly and read the introduction to the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. The higher level magic weapons, the better. It's best to use standard manufactured magic weapons as they're of the same level and power. It's easy to get these magic weapons. During the past few years, I've completed a lot of Blood Eagle Guard tasks and earned a number of points. With the rest of my points and all my divine gems, I should be able to exchange for a set of magic weapons to use with this sword formation. The key factor is the 3 sword formations. They're too enigmatic. It was indeed too enigmatic and too profound. Jian Wushuang started to research on the first sword formation. However, he did not have any clues on it a half a month later. It seems like I'll have to go to the Divine Sea to meditate on the first sword formation. The Divine Sea. It was vast and magnificent. After Jian Wushuang joined the Blood Eagle Guard, he had cultivated in seclusion in the Divine Sea for a month. He had made great progress during this period of time. Once again, he had received the opportunity to enter the Divine Sea and could even stay for 2 months this time. He was not going to waste a second of it. Once inside the Divine Sea, he immediately began soaking himself in the Blood Sea. Hot and strange energy entered his body through his pores, permeating his sword, heart, and body. It was just as comfortable as it had been the last time he experienced it. Jian Wushuang relaxed, allowing the hot energy to soak in. At the same time, he devoted all of his energy to the study of the first sword formation of the Ninth Heaven Sword Formation. The Ninth Heaven Sword Formation was so enigmatic and complicated that Jian Wushuang failed to gain any insight, even after meditating on it for half a month. However, once he entered the Divine Sea, its special effect improved his comprehensive ability greatly, making it much easier for him to meditate on it. Time flew by. 2 months later, Jian Wushuang walked out of the Divine Sea. The Divine Sea is really magical. Since I've already benefited from it once before, I thought that I wouldn't have a big harvest this time. However, it turned out to be even bigger. Jian Wushuang's eyes sparkled with excitement. He stayed in the Divine Sea longer, so it was only natural that he made greater progress. His sword heart and body had been greatly enhanced, especially his sword heart, which had reached the top of level 4, only 1 step away from level 5. Every steps forward for my sword heart is very difficult. It usually takes an ordinary Eternal Realm expert many years to even see a slight improvement. But, because I was able to enter the Divine Sea twice, its special effect saved me a lot of time. Jian Wushuang thought with a smile. What really made him happy was that he finally managed to master the first sword formation after meditating on it for 2 months. I have already comprehended the sword formation. Now I only need to obtain some magic weapons and gain some practical experience, he thought while clenching his fists. Then he immediately headed for the treasure vault of the Blood Eagle Guard. I need sword-type magic weapons at the Eternal Realm level, and they should be identical if possible, Jian Wushuang said. Wait a minute, the spirit of the treasure vault replied. It quickly gave him a list of treasures. Jian Wushuang started to read it carefully. There were many kinds of standard sword-type magic weapons that were at the Eternal Realm level in the Blood Eagle Guard treasure vault. Their power and appearance were exactly the same, so they were suitable for his sword formation. Jian Wushuang finally focused on a standard manufactured magic weapon named Blood Sky Sword. The Blood Sky Sword was a peak-level eternal weapon with an extremely slim and sharp sword blade. The most terrifying aspect of the Ninth Heaven sword formation is its speed and power. Therefore, sharp swords are definitely the most suitable. In addition, the Blood Sky Sword is of extremely high level. Jian Wushuang nodded. Peak-level eternal weapons were the highest among all eternal weapons. Anything higher would be an Emperor weapon. Jian Wushuang had thought of using Emperor weapons to form the Ninth Heaven sword formation, but that meant he would need to collect 36 standard manufactured Emperor weapons, which was out of his reach right now. Therefore, the Blood Sky Swords would be sufficient for now. As a peak-level eternal weapon, the Blood Sky Sword was worth about 10 million divine gems in the market, so it costs him 1,000 points in the Blood Eagle Guard treasure vault. Jian Wushuang directly used 36,000 points to exchange for 36 swords. In addition, he also exchanged for some natural treasures which could enhance his body and some elixirs for healing or with other special effects, which cost him all the points he had earned by completing tasks over the past 15 years. He even used all his divine gems to exchange for treasures. He even bought some items which were strange but might be useful. I'm going to the Stellar Fog Sea, a place where points and divine gems are useless. I'm not sure whether I can survive, so it would be better to use the points and divine gems to improve my current strength. Before entering the Stellar Fog Sea, any improvement in my strength will increase my chances of surviving. Jian Wushuang had a clear understanding of his situation. After collecting enough treasures, he left the Blood Eagle Guard residence and went to a deep mountain, where he practiced the Ninth Heaven sword formation alone. In a quiet valley, the shrill echoes of swords continuously resounded throughout the valley. In the center of the valley, dozens of sharp swords instantly combined with each other at an amazing speed. The long swords instantly formed a 2-foot scarlet long sword, which was surrounded by a strange aura. The scarlet long sword, which released an extremely terrifying aura, rushed forward under the manipulation of its master, Jian Wushuang. Whoosh! A streak of scarlet flowing light flashed forward like a meteor hurtling through the sky. Swoosh! The sword light seemed to pierce through the sky, causing a huge hole to form in the area it passed through. Its power was extremely terrifying. However, this scarlet longsword suddenly trembled after rushing forward for less than 100 meters and completely collapsed into dozens of Blood Sky swords. Using his will, Jian Wushuang summoned the 36 Blood Sky swords back. I can manage to form the sword formation, but I still haven't fully understood some of its special applications. The most terrifying aspect of the first sword formation, trackless sword move, is its speed. However, when I display it, it's too slow. It seems that I still need to practice more. This sword formation was too complicated. Even after Jian Wushuang mastered it, he still needed a certain amount of practice before he would be able to display its full power. However, he was not discouraged at all. From this day on, he kept practicing the trackless sword move alone in this secluded valley. He devoted himself to the practice of the sword formation. Time flew by while he was practicing.